advocacy in the medical system. And I do think this is a really important conversation for people to be aware of, especially if they haven't had to dive into the medical system for yet, because at some point stuff goes on with your health. And unfortunately, the support that you get now with your health is so all over the freaking board. So I'm just going to tell you guys a story. This is great. Here's the deal. We're two moms. We popped babies out in our 40s. It was hard.
It was hard. But it was also one of the best things that ever happened to us.
But now we're moms in our 40s.
Yeah. Yep. So let's talk about it. The real stuff, the messy stuff, the funny stuff, the real women, real life, real shit stuff. From perimenopause to pissed off preschoolers, real life hardships, and the embarrassing stuff we don't always want to share.
We challenge a perspective shift in every episode that'll bring you to tears or to piss your pants laughter.
Sometimes both.
You're not going to find perfectly curated content with mature-ish mamas. You get what you get. You don't throw a fit. I'm Cal.
I'm Megs.
And this is Mature-ish Mamas.
Life unfiltered.
Because if you want a show, we're a shit show. And we're here for you.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by I Am Journey, a program designed to help women step into their greatest life through bite-sized, easy-to-digest lessons. They're entertaining, practical, and paired with simple, daily practices that actually make a difference. Don't be jealous. Do you want one?
Pillow pocket?
Pillow
A Polly Pocket pillow?
Oh, man.
Oh, what?
Let's get started and let's just start with our sponsor right now.
Let's hear a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by Polly Pocket, the toy so small it spent half its life lost under the couch. Tiny furniture, tiny shoes, tiny accessories. One vacuum cleaner and the entire family disappeared. Polly Pocket, teaching us early that storage and organization are life skills. Did you have a Polly Pocket?
No,
What?
I didn't.
I'm so sorry. Redo life.
I know. I know about them. That wasn't my...
You had knives instead?
No,
Pocket
I
knives?
had like Gem, which was like a super big doll.
Oh, I
instead
remember
of like
Gem.
a tiny little big doll. Gem was bigger than the Barbies.
Yeah, she was like the badass Barbie. She was like the punk rocker Barbie.
Yeah.
She had purple hair, I think. Shortcut, maybe?
Pink hair.
Oh, pink,
Yep.
okay,
And
yeah.
it was like a total 80s mullet, girl mullet, you know? Yeah. Because that was that makes sense, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I love Gem and the Misfits.
Get yourself situated.
I need to.
Everybody
Let me
watch
figure it
Megs.
out.
She's got to figure out what's happening with her life over here.
Okay.
You guys are like, don't
shadow
you do that?
box in my mic.
Yep. Don't you guys do that before you get on? Nah, we don't. Polly Pocket and Popples.
Oh, I had a Popple too. I loved my Popple.
Guys, these are foldable animals. Those are so cool. Like I kind of want to play with one right now. Both of them.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Little Polly Pocket, she could fit in your pocket. She was so cute. She was so tiny.
Little tiny.
And Jem would be like,
Yep.
basically.
Yep.
We should have played together more often.
We should have.
That would have been wonderful. Don't worry, guys. We're recording today while my husband's doing all of the yard work, getting ready for the graduation party. Thank you, husband.
You know what? We both have jobs to do today.
We do. Yep.
So-
Everybody's got a job, and we're doing ours right now.
Yep.
Okay. So, hey, guys, you want to talk about advocating for yourselves today?
Yeah.
Let's do that. I have some experiences. Do you have much experience with advocating for yourself?
Not much.
Or advocating? I mean, for anyone.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
I do that as part.
I do that as part. Well, it's funny because like with our kids, it's like, I don't know if you remember being taught to advocate and now we teach to advocate. And before, especially with my bigs, it was kind of like a new term. Like we didn't do that for ourselves. They weren't like advocate for yourselves. I'd be like, what the fuck's an advocate? What an advocate? What do I do?
Yeah.
That didn't, when I was a kid.
No. No. It was just stick up for yourself. That's kind of what we heard in the 80s. I feel like
that makes
you need to stick up for yourself.
Stick up for yourself. That makes that's
now
beautiful sense.
Now it's like a advocate.
Yeah, we got to change the terminology for it. Yeah, make it sound more appropriate.
But in the 80s, it was like stick up for yourself.
Yeah,
don't take shit from everybody.
Yeah,
come on, you got to stick up for
yourself. Make
yourself.
it happen. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
With the kids, with the bigs, I remember they started doing that where they would have that like infused into their classes a little bit. to like be your own self-advocacy. Like they would talk about that. And I was like, teach me more about that.
Can I come to your third grade class today?
Yeah, I'm going to need to know what that means. And then, it is so important, like just starting off with the kids side and like even school, thinking about standing up to an elder who's like, elders are always right? Because that's also the era that we lived in.
Yeah.
Like they're correct, but sometimes they're actually not.
Right.
They're not right.
Right.
So you got to tell them what the hell's up.
Yeah. And it's like there's like such a beautiful way to do that. And without it like being disrespectful, especially to like elders. Like that's like a thing that you just don't want to disrespect people, even if they're not elders. Like you don't want to just be like running around bulldozing over everybody all the time. So like to find a really beautiful way to advocate and stick up for yourself and your people is, I think, a really cool skill to learn.
It is. And it's not, I don't think it's an easy skill. Like how do you even think about like your elder or like sometimes it's just not even worth it. But like, let's just like your grandparent and they have a certain opinion and you want to share that there's alternative opinions about that. But then you're like, do I really want to argue about this or not? And like, what's worth advocating? Then that's something to really consider too. Like what's actually worth advocating, or are you just trying to pick a fight because they have a different opinion?
Yeah.
And I think advocation more comes from like taking a stand, sticking up for yourself for a purpose that's like something that you need to happen in your life.
Right.
Maybe. We looked up nothing before we started this, so don't think that we're going to give you a definition.
Why would we start now?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think that it's more for a purpose to get something done, not just to have dueling opinions. You know,
you're not advocating for your opinion. I mean, I guess you could, but that just seems weird because your opinion's not right. Your opinion is an opinion.
You can discuss opinions with your family and friends and whoever you want, but advocation, I feel like, is like really like, this doesn't feel right. Whatever. This is like some kind of an injustice in some way, and I want to make sure that I am getting what I need.
Well, like I think about kids, like the kids now in school who do benefit from standing up as opposed to sitting down, and they're trying to advocate for themselves with their parents or with their teachers. Like I am supported by learning if I stand up. I noticed like one of our friends, they had a teacher shift in the last year, and the new teacher won't allow him to do all the same things that supported him in his learning. So now him and his mom and his family are trying to advocate for him to have a good learning environment. And we all do learn differently. You can't just like put us into the same molding. So there's a great example of advocacy when you're talking about your children.
Right. Yeah.
So the conversation started based upon advocacy in the medical system. And I do think this is a really important conversation for people to be aware of, especially if they haven't had to dive into the medical system for like yet, because at some point stuff goes on with your health. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the support that you get now with your health is so all over the freaking board. So I'm just going to tell you guys a story. This is great. We're at the hospital for my mom. So, she just got diagnosed with bile duct cancer. I think we shared about that. And she had some blood clots. So she ends up getting admitted for 6-7 days. And the first thing that you notice, and you probably even noticed when we were at the hospital, like when you came to visit me for my infection or whatever a few months ago, like everybody appears to be 22. All of the nurses, all of them, which is, I mean, it's fine. It's because we're old now.
Well, we're their same age, but they're also younger than us, but we're also the same age
We're
as
the
them.
same age.
But we are older than them,
We're
too.
mature-ish.
We're mature-ish.
And they're not.
No, they do all look like babies.
They look like babies.
Yeah.
Which would be so wonderful if I had a bunch of like summa cum laude, super smart. Is it loud or laud? Summa cum laude.
I think it's laud, but
you know what? I was summa cum laude, so take that. You probably don't want me doctoring you. Anywho, like if it was like this like super smart young person, but like I'm telling you what, the number of nurse practitioners and even nurses and the things that they do and say is mind blowing to me. And now if you're going to the hospital because you've got bronchitis and they're just going to like administer some oxygen, that's still like, you kind of want them to do it right. You want them to get like, put the oxygen on, turn it to the right number, you know?
Yeah.
But like when you're doing something like cancer care for blood clots in your lungs
feels
and
life
your
or death.
you kind of want them to do it right. Even whatever. When I was in there for my infection for my Tata, one of the nurses came in and I'm like laying there and I kind of like look over my shoulder to see what she's doing because she's doing vitals, and she has her phone and she turns and she's literally taking a selfie for her socials, for her story. I was just like, did this small human just pause to take a selfie in the middle of my vitals?
Yeah. In her work day?
And wearing my scrubs. Look at me. I'm at the job. I'm a nurse now. Check it out. So, okay. So back to my mom's story, because I haven't really even shared any of this with you yet. And it was just an interesting environment. So, some things that we saw and heard, like let's just start at the nurse practitioner level. So like your basic person who's coming in to care for you, and they can't get you a read of a temperature over 95.8. Something feels wrong with that. Are you really 95.8? And then the comment that the nurse makes is, maybe it's because it's cold in the hospital today. I don't think.
Is that from your textbook?
Yeah. Is that, and like, but don't say that in front of the class. Go say that in the hallway so you don't look like a total, I don't, like, what? I know.
Yeah, that doesn't give you confidence in the care that you're receiving.
And this person is taking care of you. Like, they can't get a temperature read on you. And then at the same time, you're like, are you getting any of my, is my blood pressure cuff in the right spot? Are you doing this right?
Is anything right?
Is anything right?
If you can't even get my temperature correct.
The next nurse walks in and drops the drugs all over the floor. And she's like, oops, sorry. And then she walks back out. She's like, oops, daisy. And she comes back in with like a new cup of drugs. And we're just like, that just feels weird. I get we all drop stuff, but it feels weird when they're carrying your drugs to keep you well, and then they drop them.
Yeah, especially after, like, when it's a series of events too, it just feels like even worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
You know, like, if maybe they just dropped the drugs. Okay, oopsies. Yeah, we're human. But you can't get my temperature. I'm not sure if you did my blood pressure right. And now my pills are all scattered amongst the floor.
It's just like pick and choose. Just take a couple of them off the floor. Here, blow them off. It's just the hospital floor. We cleaned that last week. Yeah. It's not a big deal.
No.
And then you move up the ranks, right? So what ended up happening for my mom is the reason why she was in the hospital is because she had to take a specific drug, a specific blood thinner, in order to have the procedure that was already scheduled for Wednesday. So she goes in on Saturday and they're like, I'm sorry, we can't send you home because you have this procedure. And when we send you home, those blood thinners stay in your system longer. So you need to be on a different type that's short acting so you can do your procedure on Wednesday. And we're like, okay, cool. Cool, not cool, whatever. At least we're getting good care. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. So we talked to him. We're like, could you please try to move this procedure up since we're already inpatient? Is there any way to have the procedure done sooner? Of course, we'll check. We'll see about that. And then I'm a big advocate. So this is why my mom wants me just basically everywhere with her. Mm-hmm. I'm the one who's like, hey, since we're here and you couldn't get her an infusion room for chemo for 2 weeks, do you think you could also just bring some chemo in and get that done as soon as the test's done? And they're like, oh, yeah, well, I'll ask about that. I don't think it would even.
What a great idea.
Oh, what the light bulb. Like, we could start your treatment and like get you some sort of comfort a week sooner, 9 days sooner.
Right.
Maybe. So we have this discussion, like things are moving in the right direction. I'm like, see, Mom, this is great. Like, things happen for a reason. This sucks, but also we're moving in a great direction. So then on the day of the procedure, we're sitting there and we meet with the doctors. I go in so I can take all the notes and stuff. And I'm like, exactly what does the procedure look like? They're like, we don't really know because we're not scoped. It was like an upper scope. Like we don't do that. So we don't know what it's going to look like. And, but I think we'll probably keep her for 12 to 24 hours afterwards. And I was like, okay, so we'll wait to talk. When they bring us down, I'll talk to that guy and I'll ask what the procedure is going to be like. And so then we're just like waiting. We're waiting. And her appointment's at 2:30. So it was like 2:15 or I don't know, 2 or 2:15. And I'm like, all right, so we'll just make sure we like watch the time because let's just see if there's people didn't come to pick you up. Like sometimes they just don't come to pick you up or whatever, which is an awful notion to have. Because you think about this, my mom's in there, she's on oxy trying to control the pain. So, I mean, she's seeing firecrackers and flower fields and like she can't be aware and taking action for herself. And
and I don't, even if she wasn't all doped up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone feels that way when they're in the hospital, that I need to be like, It's too, you know what I mean?
Here's what we're doing next.
You're just kind of sitting there waiting. Because you expect a certain level of care when you're there for cancer treatments.
When you're on the oncology floor.
When you're there for anything. But that is like...
You think you're going to be cared for.
Okay, yeah.
So we're sitting there and it's 2:25 and I say, hey, can you, let's go to the bathroom before they get here, because if they're transporting you and she's got one of the beds that the alarm goes off, she stands up. Oh. So she has to push the button in order to go pee. And sometimes it's like 25 minutes for her to pee. Can you imagine sitting there, not getting to advocate for your own urine stream? I'm like, I would just piss the bed and be like, sorry, you guys waited 10 minutes.
I would just get up and let the alarm go off then.
But that's probably a little bit smarter than just piss in the bed. I'll make a point. I'll show you. Oh my gosh. So we call to get them to come in to do this, and they don't come in. And then finally at 20 minutes later, so now it's almost 15 minutes past her appointment, we're calling again. We're she needs to go to the bathroom and we're waiting for transport. They call her from the procedure room that she's supposed to be doing, and they ask where she is. And she's like,
they call her cell phone.
Yeah. She's like, I'm waiting for y'all to pick me up. I've been here for 5 days waiting for you to pick me up for this procedure. And they're like, so you're outpatient. So we didn't know you were inpatient, because if you're inpatient, then insurance doesn't cover this. So we're going to have to cancel your appointment. And
sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
That really chaps my hide.
Chaps my mother's hide and my hide.
Well, that too. But the insurance part.
Oh, yeah.
That is oh man, that gets me heated. Because it's even just with Johnny's small little dental procedure yesterday, some BS about insurance won't cover. And I'm like, oh, that makes me so mad.
Yeah.
That makes me so mad.
Why am I paying for insurance?
Why am I paying
for this
insurance?
not to be covered? Yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, but it's you pay into insurance, and then just randomly they'll just be like, oh, we're not going to pay for that.
Yeah.
Oh, because you've been here.
Now we're not
going to pay for that. You have to leave the hospital and come back, and then we'll pay.
Yeah. But we are going to pay for a 5-day stay, which is going to cost $50,000, but we're not going to pay for the one procedure
that you have
to have in order to start treatment.
Yes. See, that makes me so mad. Okay,
we were so, and this is actually probably a good conversation too about your show up in situations like this, of what you can control and what you can't. So we were all extremely frustrated at this point. So now I'm going out, I'm finding a charge nurse, which right there, that's difficult for some people to do. This is where I want, I guess, people to be especially moms, taking note of the different way that you have to stand up with kindness and also assertion, not even not aggression, but assertion of, I'm going to take care of this, and I'm going to walk right out there, and I'm walking up and down. They see me coming, and I'm asking every single person, we need to figure this out. My mom was supposed to be transported 25 minutes ago. Now they're saying they're not going to do her procedure. The only reason she's been here for 5 days, because they would have sent her home on Monday, is because we're waiting for this procedure. And this, charge nurse ends up coming in, and they're looking at everything. And long story short, they just fucking messed up. Everybody all just messed up.
Yeah.
So they finally get one of the doctors to come back in, and he's like, well, it seems as if there was a little scuffle with whatever. And so he's explaining the situation. I'm like, I understand you explaining the situation, but can we please revisit the scuffle that you're talking about? Because we had a conversation with the doctor on 2 days, on Sunday and Monday, requesting an earlier scan per scope. So how did that communication not how do they not know that we're inpatient? She said that she asked for one and that we could not get one. So what did she do? And he's like, I don't know. We see the message going out, but
sure.
And then I'm like, so that obviously was a complete negligence. And then every single doctor for the last 3 days has been in here, has spoke to her, has looked at her file, has known that we're preparing for a scope, and nobody saw this.
Yeah.
And by this time, he finally kind of got to a broken down state. He's like, you're right. He's like, I should have double checked. We all should have double checked, which was great. Mm-hmm. Just admitting.
Just the acknowledgement, instead of trying to poo-poo you and being like, oh, well, this is a hospital and blah, just to say, you're right.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
And apologize. Like because one of my, I want to talk about biggest pet peeves sometime.
Oh, that's
remember?
right. We
That's
need
going to be
to
so
do
much
that
fun.
too, yeah.
But one of mine is people who will not take responsibility for things. I'd rather just admit your things and move on. It's so much easier than trying to brush them through.
Exactly.
So now he's talking about it's like, well, so we don't know when we'll be able to get you scheduled again, but we'll get with the pulmonary embolism team and the upper scope team and your oncologist and everyone, and we'll try to figure it out. But it might be next week. So if it's next week, then we'll send you home. And then I'm like, whoa, okay, hold on. So she just stayed for a week in the hospital and you're not going to do the procedure. I said, I feel like this should be a high level case.
Yeah, this is now an urgent, you need to urgently make her an appointment with that person to get this scope done while we're here.
Figure this the F out.
Yeah.
Like that just doesn't.
Maybe he stays an extra hour.
Yeah.
Like he's not going home at 6. He's going home at 7 now.
And the procedure ended up taking 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Not kidding. It was
I know, I've had
wild.
a scope before.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that bad.
No, it's just instead of going up the butt, they go down the throat, guys.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
but they wash it first. They use different utensils, actually.
This is the butt one. Hopefully they know at that hospital.
Because, and it's not
You're like,
just, oh, I got a little something. And it's not.
Just a little poopy in there.
It's so odd that you say that too, because it's not like just that hospital. It's
Yeah, it's
everywhere.
it is. Yeah.
Because I've had that experience the
is
whole
everywhere.
time with my experience and my breast cancer journey and even Witten's journey.
Yeah.
And acknowledging that your life is not as important to them as their own life. If it was their mother that was there, they wouldn't have dropped the pills.
Mm-hmm.
They probably would have made sure they had a correct thermometer. They would have made sure the pulse ox was right. They would have made sure, if it was their mom, they would have showed up differently. But they're caring for 10 plus people. And so many of them, I'm on my, one kid's like, yeah, I'm in my first 90 days. They're on the floor.
Yeah.
They're learning how to do the job.
Right.
Unfortunately, you're relying on someone who we don't know what their intellectual level is. Yes, did they pass school, but does that mean very much? Honestly, no, it doesn't. On their practice, their memory of where they're going to actually care for you completely, how careful they are in their treatment. Are they crossing their T's and dotting their I's? And it just sucks. It sucks that you have to be monitoring your health care in such a way that you know that you're going to actually get what you need to move through in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And it makes me, it's sad. And what's really sad to me is, number one, I feel so empowered because I feel very strong in my advocacy. I don't care how annoying I am. I don't care how many times I ask questions. I don't care how persistent I am. In this case, I'm like, Cal, you even said this might happen. Why didn't you say something at 1:30? Why didn't you you could have done that, but I was kind of holding off.
Sure.
So it's never feel bad for saying something or for asking the extra questions or for doing the things. So diving in there. But then I think about the patients who didn't have people with them.
Right.
I keep going back to Auntie Grandma Vicky. And my heart just breaks because she had some support. We were there for treatments and stuff, but how often was she there trying to manage her own care and didn't have someone to stand up and have be that advocate?
Yeah.
And it makes my heart just break.
Yeah.
I know.
And that's why you need to learn how to do it for yourself too. Because I think that in some ways, there's something especially with women, that we have this inside of us that we do want to take care of our people. We are big mama bears. We can stand up when we need to for our husbands, our moms, our kids, our, even our friends. If it's don't talk to my friend, it's there's just something in us. But for some reason, when it comes to our own self, you do start to take in those feelings of, I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to be, I don't want to come off like a bitch or whatever it is that you're feeling. But why is it so hard for us, for our own self?
Yeah. 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 And the doctor knows more than me. I don't want to say anything. So putting those feelings aside, I think that's a great example, to be able to provide you guys with things to move through this conversation with, right, how do I advocate for myself and doing those things, not feeling bad. We're well, the doctor's smarter than me. The nurse, they are all professionals.
Right.
Yeah. They might have more training than you, but that doesn't mean that they're doing it right. And honestly, in this wild world, which is going to probably start to piss off medical professionals everywhere. You have this AI tool at your fingertip where you can be like, hey, why would my temperature be reading 95.8? Why, could that be from the cold, or what are the different reasonings? And like you would have a way to cross check data more. But I think starting off with stepping into your own like confidence of asking for what you need and not being afraid to ask a bunch of questions. Like I think about physicals. You go in and a lot of times they maybe order one thing of blood panels. If you want other blood work done, ask for the other blood work to be done.
Right. Totally. One thing that's helped me for those specific things too is thinking like, instead of being like, in my own mind, I'm going to see a doctor. Like, unfortunately, it's become to a place where it's like, you work for me. I am paying you to do a job for me, just like I would the roofer or a gardener or somebody who's helping me, watch my child. I'm paying you to do a service. And at this point, that's kind of what the medical, like, the whole thing has become. So now I know I don't have to think of you like you're my doctor. You are my doctor, and I want to have a good relationship with you in a medical setting, but also I'm paying you to do a service. So if I want more from you, I'm going to ask you for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I need this. I am having these symptoms. I think that it's this, like, help me come to it, like, figure that out. So
be vocal, be as vocal as you can.
Yeah. Just like you would anywhere else for anything else you need.
Yeah. Hopefully. And we hope that you guys are advocating on all of those different sides. I feel like think about all the different people who are steamrolled because they're just too timid in those types of situations. And then they're not happy with what they have. And then they're complaining about what they have, but they didn't advocate for themselves in the first place, which kind of can bring us back to like the story with mom. So we were in the setting, we were upset. We had the conversation. The doctor like left the room. We complained about it for a couple more minutes. And I was like, all right, like my mom's over there doing deep breathing. We're like the whole like emotional state of the room is like in a pissed off state. But we can't do anything at this point. Now the advocating for that piece is out of our hands. They already fucked up. So they've said they're sorry. We just want to try to get these procedures done as soon as possible, but we vocalize that there's nothing else we can do there. So I was like, okay, are you guys ready to be done with this anger? Because now that's out of our hands, and let's just realize that God has a reason why we're here, why we didn't do it then, and take some deep breaths, and you're going to be in here another night, and let's just see what happens. And if the test happens tomorrow, great. And if it happens next week, then it kind of feels a little weird, but that's just what it is. And let's just let go, which felt really good for my mom and her emotional state. She did not need the extra anxiety over that.
Right.
So we took a deep breath, we let it go, left. And then mom was just there on her own. Both doctors came back because there was two. They both came back. They both apologized, not profusely is what I'm going to say, but they took the time to come to her at the end of the day and really admit where their fault was, which is wonderful, but that doesn't mean you have to stop advocating, or you get to. And then they ended up getting everything to happen the next day. So the next morning we woke up, she got her scan, she got the scope, she got her chemotherapy. I mean, everything was completed. So that it ended up having like a great ending, but there's just so much that occurred in between there that we could have avoided had we been more vocal, more direct, asked more questions, been more inquisitive, been more quote unquote annoying. And even though I thought we were doing a great job of it, sometimes I even asked, I'm like, should I have called the scope place? Do you guys, would you have expected me to do that? Because if she's in here for something else and then she needs to get chemotherapy, do I need to call them? He's like, hey, by the way, she's already in hospital, so her infusion needs to be in this room, change all the insurance. And they're like, no, that's not your job. But also, it could be a great way to double check their shit. Yeah. Because sometimes they're just not doing it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to jump on and talk about that because I think that for some of you guys, if you haven't had to be on the advocacy side, specifically in the medical world before, it feels good. It can feel good and it can feel supportive to know that people have to do it. We have to do it, and you have to take a stand, and it's okay. It's okay to ask for a different doctor. like I look at like our oncologist for Witten, it's great, but I just didn't feel like his level of specialty. Again, I'm the one paying. Right? So we're not going to just have you. I'm going to hire an outside person too. And I don't care what that does to your ego, because we're talking about the care of my child, of my mom, of myself. And nobody's going to care like you're going to care for your people.
Yep.
So advocate.
And I think in some ways, as I'm hearing you talking, it just was taking me back to the 4 agreements. And it's like, you say, I don't want to be annoying, but you're assuming that you're being annoying. Maybe it doesn't annoy that person. Maybe they're like, oh shit, good thing she asked me. Maybe she did need, like, maybe they were like, oh God, okay, yep, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't always just assume that what you're doing is upsetting somebody. Maybe the assumption is that you are going to hurt someone's ego, but they were like, I'm so glad I have someone to like bounce something off of.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then following through and, you know, holding yourself to the 4 agreements also helps to hold other people to that, and saying, you said you were going to do this, be true to your word.
Yes.
You know, like there's so many ways to bring that into everything. And in a medical setting, it feels very intimidating for a lot of people, because it is. It doesn't just feel that way. It is intimidating.
Yeah.
There's so many people. There's a lot of people on the team,
especially like snooty ass doctors.
And there's,
because a lot of them, not all of them, but there's a lot of ego when it comes to certain levels of medical professionals. And when you contradict what they're saying, they can look at you like you're ass. So the 4 agreements, yes. And also that's okay. That's okay. If that's their personality and that's their show up, you know that your number one job is to be a protector and to figure out the situation.
Totally. Absolutely.
It reminds me of when I was in the hospital. Do you remember Grayson?
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Grayson.
Yeah, of course I do.
And of course. So I don't know at what point we like exchanged socials, because I think we were showing him our podcast or something. So
we were doing a podcast in the room when he was there. So
we did do that. And at one point, because I love to share any of my journeys. It's really like therapeutic for me. It can help me work through the emotions. It can bring humor and light into it. So I needed to get something, but my chest was like so swollen and so painful. I couldn't like reach for it or something. So I was like, I did like a funny video about like, do I get it? Do I not get it? Like, it's going to take me 15 minutes to try to get it. And then it was just like funny. And so Grayson comes in, I don't know, an hour later, he's like, hey, so if you need me to grab something, you could just message me and I'd grab it. Or maybe it was the next day. It's not like he was over there like doing social media, but it was just so funny. I was like, okay,
that's
so
awesome.
Talk about making assumptions. He's like, you could have just, you could have just asked me. So anywho, advocate.
Yeah.
So that's what we got.
There you go. Kindness, confidence, assertion, all are great ways to come from. Start from there. Start from there. And if you have to get angry, you get angry. Yeah. But start from that place and see where it gets you. And don't worry what anyone else is fucking thinking about you.
No.
That's their business. That's their business.
I remember crying in the hallway with the endocrinologist because I was so angry at the entire endocrine team. And I still don't think they handled my child's care appropriately at all. And I was like, so I went through the first ones, the kindness, compassion, and the confidence. And then I went into the fucking breakdown, sobbing in the hallway. Like, if you want to get attention at some point, I wasn't, wasn't even like my come from, but I was like, that pretty soon they were like, we need to try to help these people.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Right.
Anywho, side note, I hope you guys don't have to advocate for your health because you are just super healthy all the time. But that's actually just an untrue life statement. That's not the way you're going to walk through life. Yeah. You're going to have to advocate at some point.
Yeah, I feel like especially it's coming up a lot in life for my age group at this moment.
Because late 20s, early 30s,
mid to late 20s. Is that we do have to advocate for women's health, because it's like I myself has gone in and said, this is what's going on. And they're like, you're too young for that. And I'm like, but it's happening. So now you're gaslighting me, or what? Like, I'm feeling like I need some other something. No, go ahead and just, let's do that. Let's just get some blood work done, or let's do this. Because
I'm not a
like
textbook.
Perimenopause is like such a, it's like an illusion to doctors. I feel like they're they're like these late. Remember, like back in like the way old days when they were like women had hysteria.
The 1900s.
In the 1900s, women had hysteria. I feel like that's what they feel like we have about perimenopause.
Yeah.
Is hysteria. And you know what they used to do for women?
No. Mega fact, tell us.
They used to masturbate them. They used to get them off with these vibrator machines that were like on, and it was like a metal thing, and it was like, bzzz, and they would treat their hysteria. The doctors would treat their hysteria.
So they just needed a solid release.
Just like with an orgasm, which, I mean, sometimes when I'm hysterical, an orgasm is just exactly what I needed.
Yep, I just never had the doctor just serve one up to me, though. And I'm kind of thankful for it. Wow.
So,
see how far we've come, you guys? Our medical system might still be idiotic, but also it always has been. So there's that.
So let's just leave you with that.
Cheers, you guys, to our medical system. We love you guys. And by the way, every doctor, every nurse, we do appreciate you and all the things that you do. And we know and we hope that you're doing your best, paying attention, focusing on each client, taking care of them the way that you can. And I know there's probably 90% of them out there are doing that, but there's you don't know which 10% aren't.
Right.
So, and I just made that stat up.
I like that. That's how we do things around here. And also just to acknowledge that I'm sure that within the medical healthcare system, there's so much that's hard for the doctors and nurses too. Like, so we're not trying to say that that's your job isn't hard, because we know it is. I know it is. I know that there's so much, including insurance and the freaking drug people are up your ass, and like you're probably overworked and too many patients, because that's just the way that the state of the things right now. So, but we're not on that side today. We're on the other side saying you got to stand up for yourself, ask for what you need, for what your people need, do what you need to do to get your shit done that you need done.
I think that's really important, though. I'm so glad that you shared that, Megs, because this isn't us. Like we said, we don't want to like people that blame others. That's not what we're saying. It's the entire system. It's the way that it's created. It's the way that the whole thing operates as a whole. And the whole thing operates as a whole. There it is.
There it is.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
It's the end of the day.
And what was the other one that we just had?
Oh, we've thought of some good ones.
Today is the best today.
You're welcome. Let's just end with that. You guys get what else we were saying. We love your guts.
Love your guts.
Woo! Bye. Beep, boop. If this episode made you laugh, cry, or feel a little less alone, light a friend up and send it their way.
And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing.
I'm Cal.
I'm Meg.
And you just listened to Mature-ish Mamas.
Life Unfiltered.
Okay. Thanks for calling, Kins.
Thanks for calling, Kins.
She's at a wedding.
What?
She
is at a wedding.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. She called me last night, and they're like working.
Oh, was it the cowboy boot wedding?
Yes, yeah. So they're both like. I love that the bridal party isn't just sitting around having cocktails. Like Ryan's on the floor, like I don't know, taping down shit or maybe resanding the hardwoods. I don't know. And Kins is over there, like she's got to like gather. I don't know. Like so they're at work.
That's awesome.
I know.
That's
so, it's gonna be
awesome.
So pretty.
That's cool.